everyone, welcome back to another shorter, slower yoga class. Now this one we are getting grounded. So what that's going to look like are all of our asanas are really close to the ground and quite stretchy, and all of them connect with our Muladhara chakra. This is our root chakra and it's responsible for our feelings of feeling connected and belonging, feeling grounded in our bodies and in our environment. So all of the asanas are going to help us, bring that forth. Now this is a shorter version of a longer class that we have in our Patreon account. It is 60 minutes long. It is so feel good. If you are keen to explore that, I will leave the link down below. But we are going to get started in a child's pose. So when you're ready, for this one we'll have our knees closer together. And you'll roll yourself down so that your forehead touches down on your mat. Maybe the hands walk in by the sides of your feet. I'm also going to offer an option where we lift our hips up slightly and we slide our forearms underneath our thighs. So in between the thigh and the calf. And then can you sink your hips back a little bit more to bring some compression into the forearms. What we're trying to do is maybe bring a little bit more into sensation into our calf muscle. And you might walk your forearms up and down a little bit just until you find a sweet spot that feels good. And just for the next few moments, can you really feel into the forehead being connected to the earth? And a sense of heaviness within our body. Slow, deep breaths through the nose. Let's take about another 3 to 5 breaths here. Drawing our attention, our awareness inwards. And then when you're ready, just lifting your hips up enough so that you can slide your forearms out from underneath the thighs. Walk yourself up so that you're in tabletop position. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We'll use our next breath in to drop the belly down. Look forward, cow pose, squeeze the shoulder blades back. And then as we exhale, we round through the back, tuck the chin in towards the chest, cat pose. Let's take 3 more rounds. Inhaling to open, grounding the fingertips down. And then as we exhale, we round, push away from the ground. Inhale. Exhale. One more, breathe in. And then breathe out. Come back through center. Cross your right knee behind your left knee. And then try take your feet wide here. So drawing the left foot to the right foot to the left. Hands walk a little bit further back, and then you might shift forward and back here with your hips. It doesn't have to be big. If you're feeling quite open through the hips, you might even get all the way down to the ground so the hips land. If you're finding this quite easy, then maybe you take your feet a little bit further away from each other. If not, you just keep with you. Use your breath. So this is a variation of our Gomukhasana, our Cowface pose. Next time your hips are at the back, can you hold there? They might be hovering off the ground. You might be able to get them touching all the way down. If you've got a little bit of a gap, if you had a bolster or a pillow nearby, you can lift your hips up a little bit more. Take a deep breath in through the nose, lift up tall. And a deep breath out, kind of pressing some weight into the upper body. Walk yourself forward again. Take your right foot and then step it outside your right hand. Quite a big step forward. Left knee stays on the ground. You might even slide it back a little bit. Right knee stacking on top of the ankle. Hips forward. And you might stay on your hands today. If you felt you had more space, you could come down to your elbows for our lizard lunge. And if you're kind of halfway in between, the elbows don't quite come down to the ground, then find a bolster or a block or a book or something to bring your elbows down, just to get your chest a little bit lower, but you're still feeling supported. Might feel good to take a little twist side to side with the hips. You might feel some lengthening through the hip flexors on the left side, maybe the groin of the right leg, maybe somewhere else. About 1 to 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, if you've got something underneath you, just move it out, bring it out in front. Tuck onto the left toes. Breathe in as you lift the left knee off. And then as you exhale, step your left foot outside your left hand and lower down into Malasana, Garland pose. Hands might come to the chest. Again, you can always sit up onto something here, maybe your bolster, maybe your pillow. Draw the shoulder blades back. Engage the glutes slightly to help draw the knees out a little bit more. You could even close down the eyes, just letting the muscles of the face soften slightly. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And a deep breath out through the nose. Start to lift your hips up. Keep your feet kind of wide. Turn the toes forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. You might just let your upper body dangle down. You could find ragdoll, clasping opposite elbows with the hands. A little tuck of the chin, and it might feel nice to sway side to side. Bending your knees as much as you need to, kind of let the spine dangle down a little bit more. And with time, the legs will lengthen. Bring the hands towards the shins. Inhale as you lift halfway, shoulders in line with the hips. And then as you exhale, bring the hands down, step your feet back into a plank position. Inhale as you shift your weight forward, bring your knees down, chaturanga, tuck the elbows in, come down onto your belly. Walk the fingertips wide, lift the elbows high, engage the glutes. Breathe in as you lift yourself up a liting bit, drawing the shoulder blades back, Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Exhale, lower yourself down. Let's try that 2 more times with a twist. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, drop the right shoulder, look over your left shoulder. 1 more time, breathe in, lift up. This time, let's twist to the right. So left shoulder comes down, look over your right shoulder. Come back through center, hands by the ribs. Breathe in, push to your knees, come back into your tabletop position. Exhale. Okay, we're gonna try this on the other side. Left knee, cross it behind the right. Take your feet a little bit wider, if that feels comfortable for you. And then you might start to shift forward and back. Just make sure it feels good for you. So if it doesn't feel the best to shift, maybe stay still. Gomukhasana, Cowface pose, really good for opening through the outsides of the glutes, the glute medius. There are lots of intricate muscles and tendons and ligaments within our hip, and so this is a really nice way to open them up. The next time that your hips are back, you might hold. Remember, the hips might not be all the way down, they might still be hovering. Feel free to bring a bolster or a pillow or a couple underneath your hips to support your weight. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And a deep breath out. Maybe the chest draws forward even more. Lift yourself forward. Plant the hands down. Step your left foot outside the left hand. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, maybe slide the right knee back a little bit. Draw your hips forward. Maybe you stay on the hands. Maybe it feels comfortable for your elbows to come down. And connecting with the breath can be really useful here, especially if you notice this brings up a lot of tension within the body. Can you slow down and deepen the breath? Maybe breathing a little bit deeper into the belly, which is your diaphragmatic breathing. Go 2 more breaths here. Walk up to your hands, tuck onto your right toes, take a deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, step your right foot outside your right hand, lower your hips in the direction of the ground, finding Malasana again. And second time here, you might notice there's a little bit more space. Totally okay if the heels are off the ground here as well. It will come a time, just practice it a few times a day. Perfect. I do a lot of gardening and so I'm often in this position a lot. Okay, 2 more breaths. And then when you're ready, lift your hips up again, take a deep breath in through the nose, turn your toes forward, and then as you exhale, fold. Maybe finding ragdoll again, opposite elbows, clasping. Maybe a little shift from side to side. When you're ready, lift halfway on your inhalation. Exhale, fold forward, plant the hands down, step yourself back into your plank position. Inhale as you shift your weight forward, bring the knees down. Exhale, Chaturanga. Take the fingertips wider than the mat, just one time this time. Inhale, Cobra. Lift the chest up. Exhale, lower yourself down. Bring your hands by the ribs, push to your knees, come into a kneeling position. Sinking your hips back over your heels, and then close down the eyes. And before we transition out of our practice and leave our mat, maybe you'd like to reflect on what you would like to bring out into the rest of the day. Being intentional with our energy and what we bring out in ourselves. And then when you're ready, open the eyes. We'll finish our practice there. Thank you so much for tuning into your practice today. And remember, if you wanted to explore your yoga practice in a little bit more depth, there is the longer 60-minute class in our Patreon account, as well as all of the other classes that we've uploaded since we've started there. I look forward to moving and breathing with you again sometime soon. Thank you.